to fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. Now, I'm always looking at the past to show how absurd the present is. Over the Christmas period, I was watching a DVD, BBC Open University Coast. It's a DVD that I have. It is basically the history of the UK coast. That's the whole of it, the perimeter of the UK. Not extraordinary, you would have thought. So why am I playing a piece from this? Well, it's simple. Groups of leftists, in particular the US, have challenged symbols of the past and demanded them be removed. In other words, the history of their country. The history is their country. But what I have done is highlighted one piece, just one piece, that's being narrated by a black person, a British citizen I may add, who holds a contrary view to those views held in the US. He believes that history must be protected so that we can learn from it and maybe, just maybe, never repeat it again. Because if we don't teach it, how will we know not to repeat it? It's simple really, isn't it? History is just that. History. It's yours and it's mine, warts and all. The links to this will be on my site. Take a listen and you make your mind up whether all this PC garbage is just that. Why do they want to hide history? Isn't that really the question? Take a listen.
Trade and people, or rather trade in people. They were the commodity that helped Liverpool become one of the world's great coastal metropolises. Many of Liverpool's buildings were built with profits from the slave trade. It was slavery which began to transform this modest little fishing village into a major port. Reminders of that trade are visible in the very fabric of the city, assuming you know where to look. Eric Lynch has been opening eyes to this particular chapter in our history for over 30 years. Walking around Liverpool today, Eric, there are no signs that I can see of slave trade at all.
That's because you don't use your eyes. If you look at these buildings and you see the symbols, look at the archway there, you'll find that that's a slave ship. That's how the industry starts off. Without the slave trade, these buildings wouldn't be here and these symbols would not be here either.
Once your eyes are opened, the murky iconography jumps out from all sorts of unlikely places. Faces, cotton plants, whips. In the latter part of the 18th century, 3/4 of all European slave ships left this harbour. One ship every 3 days. Overall, Liverpool traders shipped more than 1.5 million black Africans across the Atlantic to the Caribbean. Then back the ships would come, laden with sugar to sweeten British cups of tea and cotton for our thundering mills. Even decades after slavery was abolished in 1807, financial institutions were still unashamed to celebrate the origins of their wealth.
At the top is a grasshopper, which is the trademark of the bank.
Yes.
Then you come to Neptune.
Yep.
Neptune has his hands on the heads of 2 African children. In the hands of the African children, they hold bags which represent the wealth of Africa: gold, diamonds, silver. If you use your eyes correctly, around their ankles and around their wrists, they wear shackles.
I hadn't seen that. They look like bracelets.
But they may look like bracelets, but they're chains.
I don't think if I'd been running into this bank to cash a cheque, I'd have actually noticed either the carving or the meaning behind it. Do you think it's important to be educated in what this carving actually means?
Definitely. I do not want this taken down. I hope that somebody has the sense that when this building is falling apart, these are taken and put in a museum. It's your history, it's my history. You can't brush it aside. We have a right to the knowledge.
Let's just listen to that again. Listen to the words very carefully.
I hope that somebody has the sense that when this building is falling apart, these are taken and put in a museum. It's your history, it's my history. You can't brush it aside. We have a right to the knowledge.
You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab and email. You can now find us on Spotify. Just go to the podcast section and type Canadian Politics with a Twist and you'll find us. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments at Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO, A Radio, and please click on the like button. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Moments tab.